Now 2 flags fly above my land and really sum up how I feel. One is the colors that fly high and proud, the red, the white, the blue. The other one's got a rattlesnake with a simple statement made. Don't tread on me is what it says, and I'll take that to my grave.
Hey everybody, I wanted to do a quick video. Mitch from Native Survival on the Willis Outfitters channel did a video about a 1-minute sustainable fire. I live down here in the Panhandle of Florida, and we got something a little bit different, but it works pretty good. This right here, this is what we call lighter. This is actually where I cut it a time before, but it's a real resinous pine. And what it does when the tree dies, all the resin kind of solidifies in it, and you find it down here in the woods. But I'm going to show you how to use it for fire tinder. Alright, the best way to really tell that this is lighter is if it's real solid. You can see that that's real solid wood. It's not a rotten log. So the best way to tell, go ahead and chip a little piece off. It's all about this color right here. That's the resin that's inside that wood. Alright. So another piece of lighter. Now this is a stump. You're going to find it a lot in this form. Where when the tree died, all the resin runs down to the base of the tree, so it doesn't rot. But the smell of this stuff, you can just, it smells like pine salt. It's sticky to the touch. I'm going to get a couple more pieces like this. I guess what you got to look out for when you start digging into these is a lot of times you'll find ants' nests and stuff in here. And these fire ants down here, they don't mess around, man. They will eat you up. Alright. That'll be enough. Alright, again, here's another good example of just a lighter stump. Again, you can hear that, but it's as solid as a rock. You kick it with your foot, you're going to know it. It ain't like rotten wood that when you kick it, it just breaks. This stuff is real solid. And then over here, got us another big piece of it. You can see it ends up with this gray color on the outside. Again, solid as a rock. And you see this piece is pretty good size, about 6-8 foot long. This right here, this is enough lighter almost for a lifetime, but this stuff is everywhere down here. The pine is in every woods, every patch of woods. They're always in a little bit higher ground than the cypress and all that stuff. Not really in the bottoms, but this lighter pine, it's pretty easy to find. Once you know what to look for, you can find it just about everywhere. Here's another good example. This is a little small cypress here. See how this bark's peeling off it. This feathers up and makes it real good tinder. It hasn't rained a couple weeks here, so this stuff's good and dry. Go ahead and pack this up. There's one more piece of tinder I want to grab. Here's my bridge across the creek. I'll video this and see how it goes. Good embankment climb down here, about 8 feet to the bottom. Nice and easy. The water in it is probably only a couple feet deep, but I don't want to get wet. Alright. So here I am on a little saw palmetto patch here. What I'm looking for is a little bit taller saw palmettos. Ones come out of the ground a little bit. And like most palm trees, this one right here. See, you gotta watch out for critters and stuff in here, but you got this fluff. This stuff right here makes an excellent tinder. These saw palmettos just about everywhere. Now this one right here, this little shoot coming out, because it's so far up out of the ground. See, it's about a foot out of the ground. You could actually come in here and cut this down and get to the center of that, which you can eat. And actually, there's quite a few of these that are standing up a little bit taller. So this is what I'm after. So I'm gonna go ahead and collect a little bit more of this, and we'll get a fire going. All right, kind of standard fire making. You want to find, if you can, find standing dead wood, and use that. These are just some twigs I broke off. What we got going on here is up on this wet sand, this damp sand here on the bank. I'm not really planning on staying the night or nothing. I'm just doing this to make a video, but built a little base here to keep the wood off that damp sand. That moisture will just pull the heat right out of the fire. So whenever you need to, just go ahead and build yourself a little base, and then that'll actually turn into a pretty good little ember bed as you go. You see, I'm just taking these sticks and just breaking them off. Kind of work on a rule of thumb of, if it's the size of a matchstick, goes in the small pile. If it's the size of a pencil, it goes in the next pile. You know, these are a little bit thicker, so I'll put those over there. But prep for the fire is the most important work you can do. You can have all the tinder and everything, but if you don't have any fuel ready to go on that tinder once you get that flame going, you're not going to have a sustainable fire, self-sustaining fire. And that's the whole goal here, is just to get this fire going straight away, first try. What I got here is that cypress bark. I pulled up off that tree. I'm just going to go ahead and rough it up a little bit more surface area in it. And that's real important, because this stuff will fiber up into a real good tinder. And you can use this just as tinder itself if you really sit here and work it. That roughed up. And this is my fibers from the saw palmetto. Now here's this lighter. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and I'm going to split some pieces off of it. You can see it'll almost follow the grain. So I'm going to go ahead and process some of this up. If you could just smell this stuff, if you're familiar with lighter, the smell is absolutely just unmistakable. But if you're not, it just has this wonderful, just pine smell to it. It's just heaven, absolute heaven. I'm going to process this up into the smallest pieces I can. I'm going to add this. Well, I'm going to keep this. This is going to be what I put as soon as I get fire. As soon as I get flame on my bundle here, I'll go ahead and add this. Alright, now that I got some of this processed up, set this off to the side here, I'm going to take my tinder bundle, make sure that's in the frame. The darker, the better. This is the other piece, but I'm going to just pull some shavings off of this. Make sure they fall right there in the tinder bundle. using a serrated spot on my knife because it just seems to gather up these little shavings the best. Now this is my #1 tinder. This is, if I'm starting a fire, I even use this stuff to light my grill with. You don't want to cook over it because it puts off real black smoke, but to get a fire going, there ain't much better than this right here. Big piece just about put that out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to light a little piece of this for you. And I'm going to show you how it burns. Hopefully you can hear that. But it burns like it's been soaked in gasoline or soaked in kerosene. I mean, it'll burn and burn and burn and burn. There you go. 1 minute self-sustaining fire. There you have it. 1 minute self-sustaining fire. You know, that lighter, if you check out my survival pack video, the second part, I keep a couple slivers of this pushed down into my knife sheath, and just having a little bit of it, just a little bit of the shaving, you can get a fire going. It'll burn when it's wet. To get it wet, you just put flame to it again, it lights right back up. It's really, really good stuff. I'm originally from upstate New York, and I lived in central Ohio for a while, so seeing the fire with white pine, yeah, that's great. I moved down here, first person to show me about that lighter. That's what they call it here, lighter knot, fat wood, a bunch of different names for it. But I was pretty impressed, and I pick it up whenever I'm out in the woods and I see some. I'll cut myself off a piece, try to make a mental note where I saw it. But it's all over the place. All over the place. I appreciate the views and appreciate the support. See you in the next video.
'Cause Hank taught me just how to stay alive. Never catch me out the house without my 9 or 45. I got a big orange tractor and a diesel truck, and my idea of heaven's chasing whitetail bucks. And as a country 'cause country boy, you know I can survive.